Little Nez wants to say hello today. I haven't shown the cats in a while, I feel like, and it's been definitely too long. The main reason is because I can't hold them without them, like, freaking out. We need a cat cam or something. Story number 1 is called, Am I the a-hole for refusing to help my mother-in-law after feeling like she treats me like a servant, even though my husband is mad about it? I'll try to keep this short, but honestly, I don't even know where to begin with this one. For some background, I, female, have been married to my husband for a few years now, and things have been mostly good between us, but there's one huge issue that's been causing a ton of friction. His mum. When we first got married, I wanted to be on good terms with her, obviously, so whenever she needed help running errands or picking up groceries, you name it, I was happy to pitch in. At the start, I thought it was occasional stuff, you know, regular family helping each other out kind of stuff. But over time, her requests have turned into what feels like a full-time job. It started small. She'd ask me to grab her things when I was out, or help with some cleaning when we visited. But then she started calling me all the time, like several times a week, asking me to come over and help with stuff that she could easily handle herself. Stuff like laundry, cooking, vacuuming, stuff that isn't even urgent. I started feeling less like a daughter-in-law and more like a personal assistant, or to be honest, a servant. The worst part is that anytime I even hint that I've got a lot on my plate already, I work full-time and I've got my own family responsibilities to take care of, she'll start with guilt tripping. Stuff like, oh, I guess I'll just do it myself even though my back's been hurting so much lately. And without fail, my husband just doesn't get it. Anytime I try to bring it up with him, he brushes it off, saying, oh, she's lonely, can't you just be there for her? It's a family after all. Get out of here, dude. No, OP. You know that she's guilt tripping you, OP. Stop helping her. Last week was the final straw. I had a long, exhausting day at work. I was really looking forward to coming home and unwinding a bit, just having some peace. But as soon as I walk in, my husband tells me that his mum called and needed help cleaning out her attic. He's already told her that I'll go over. When I said no, that I was tired and I needed a break, he looked genuinely shocked and annoyed. Yeah, you've got a mother-in-law problem, but you've also got a husband issue here. He called her back and told her that I wasn't coming, and I could hear her reaction through the phone. She started wailing, saying how she needs me, how she doesn't know what she'll do without me, all that sort of stuff. After he hung up, he turned to me and said that I was being selfish and dramatic, and now he's giving me the cold shoulder. What? He keeps saying stuff like, what if we need her someday? Your husband is not sounding good, OP. She's family. You don't just abandon family. And it's like he's totally ignoring how burnt out and used I feel. Yeah, he is. I don't know if I'm overreacting here. I mean, it is his mum and family is important, but I feel like I'm the only one sacrificing here, and he's letting her walk all over me. Am I the a-hole? No, of course you're not the a-hole, OP, and she's not the only issue. Your husband is just as big of a problem as she is. That's so infuriating. Hey bro, why don't you go help your mum? Of course you're not in the wrong, OP. And the fact that he gave you the cold shoulder. Oh my God, I wouldn't be staying with him if I were you, OP. Like, I know that's a little bit dramatic, but he is so not in the right. And the audacity to get upset at OP. Yet this comment, she's lonely, can't you be there for her? It's family after all. Tell him to get off his ass himself. My husband tells me that his mum called and needed help cleaning out her attic. He's already told her that I'll go over. Same as above. Jesus Christ. You have a huge husband problem. Huge. None of this is your problem. Not the a-hole. Oh, the husband and his mum sounds so bad. Yeah, like this comment says, not the a-hole. Why isn't your husband dragging his no backbone having ass over to mummy to help her? Yeah, that's so frustrating. And then giving OP the cold shoulder. Dude, you don't even realize how in the wrong you are. OP does have this comment here. Thank you. No, he would never help my mum as much as I do for his mum, but that ends now. He's gonna have to step up and do the servant part from now on for his mum. And OP also has this comment. You're right, I'm gonna have to set clear boundaries to my mother-in-law and husband. I feel so sorry for you, OP. But yeah, you're not the a-hole even a little bit. Post number 2 says, am I the a-hole for letting my perpetually late boyfriend miss a game that he was excited about because I didn't remind him to hurry up? My boyfriend, 28 male, and I, 27 female, have been together for a few years, and he's notorious for being late to things that we plan together. He tends to get caught up in whatever he's doing, usually something with his car or playing a game, and loses track of time. Normally, I remind him multiple times about the timing so we don't miss events, which sometimes does make me feel like more of a manager than a girlfriend. I've tried to talk to him about it, explaining that it's tiring always being the one to keep us on schedule, but he laughs it off and says that he just runs on his own time. What? Oh, so annoying. It's reached a point where I plan an hour ahead just so that we don't end up late. Recently, I decided to stop reminding him and let him handle it himself. Last weekend, he got tickets to a big game that he was thrilled about. We'd been talking about it for weeks, but I told him a couple of times that I would not be nagging him to get ready anymore. Well, when the game day came, he got distracted again, this time tweaking something on his car that was running perfectly fine. I casually mentioned that it was getting late, but I didn't keep it up or hurry him along. We ended up leaving much later than planned and missed out on the first quarter, which he'd been looking forward to. He was upset and he blamed me, saying that I should have told him sooner if I noticed that we were running late. Bro, you're 28 years old. I reminded him that I'd already made it clear that I wasn't going to be responsible for his time management, and that led to a big argument where he accused me of sabotaging his plans out of spite, and we haven't been talking much since. Now he's told a few of our friends and some of them agree with him that I should have helped him out for something that he really cared about. Am I the a-hole for letting him deal with the timing himself and not reminding him to hurry up? No, of course you're not, OP. Are you his mum? Is he a child? No, he's 28. Imagine being a grown 28-year-old blaming your partner because you can't manage your own time. Get out of here, dude. Yeah, this comment, are you his girlfriend or his mother? This guy sounds very immature, not the a-hole. Yeah, the comment below that too, not the a-hole. How does a 28-year-old adult blame somebody else for their own slack time management skills? Yeah, that's so wild. Like, what do you mean you think it's your partner's fault? Oh yeah, it's definitely your partner's responsibility to make sure that you're always on time. Of course it's not. There's no excuse either. You can set an alarm on your phone. Like, right, okay, I need to be at this place by 8. I need to be out of here by 7. I'm gonna set an alarm on my phone for 6:30 so I can get ready. Like, it's not hard, dude. And the scary part is this sort of stuff must be so common. I don't even know how many times we've read pretty much the exact same story. Little Nez wants to say hello today. I haven't shown the cats in a while, I feel like, and it's been definitely too long. The main reason is because I can't hold them without them, like, freaking out. We need a cat cam or something. Or maybe some cat furniture behind me so that they can just sort of be in the background. But yeah, Nez says hi. The next one says, am I the a-hole for suing my mother-in-law? I, female 35, and my husband, male 36, were gifted a truck by my father last year to start our own excavation business. This truck is a Dodge diesel truck, used mainly for pulling heavy equipment. This truck was not cheap, but it wasn't brand new either. My husband got on drugs really bad, and unfortunately, I had him arrested for domestic violence. My plan initially was to file for divorce, as this isn't tolerated by family and most importantly myself. We live in the middle of nowhere and our truck was broke down in our driveway. One day I was outside and a tow truck pulls up and starts loading up our truck. The guys were my husband's iron worker buddies, and I told them to drop the truck and get off my property, as per my no trespassing signs. They refused to, so I called the police. It turns out my husband had signed the title to our truck over to his mum, and they sent these guys to come pick it up. I told the officer that I did not sign the title over, but because it said or and not and on the title, it was legal and she could take the truck. My husband ends up staying in jail for over a year, and I continue for 6 months asking his mum for it back. I explained that I was having car trouble and that I needed it because I and my kids were snowed in for 2 weeks without the 4-wheel drive. They wanted to fix the truck and I said no. If they could tow it back over and sign the title back, I'd fix it. They agreed, and the day before I was supposed to get it, they refused. They said that I fixed the truck and that I owed them $800 and that I had to drive 2 hours away to come and get the truck or they weren't signing the title back over. My husband called us from the jail and told them to sign the truck back over because he didn't want me and the kids stranded without a vehicle. They told him and I that they would sign it back over but refused. I contacted a detective in my county who advised me to text them in a group text saying that they had until a set date to return the truck and title over or I was going to be filing with the courts. They ignored me and the date came and went. 2 days after I filed. It cost me over $200 to file and the date was set. We went to court and the only way that I could get my truck back was to pay the $800 and they wanted me to put insurance on it to drive it back to my house. So I did and they drove it over and signed over the title. I drove the truck for a week and it broke down again. The $800 was for them fixing the flywheel and putting 2 new batteries in it. My mother-in-law texted me a couple of times asking about the kids. I initially ignored her, but I got so mad and I went off on her, and she still thinks that she did nothing morally wrong. She works at a Helping Hands church helping people in need. I ended up blocking her and focusing on my kids and myself. So am I the a-hole? Right, okay, so this one, there's a lot going on, but you and your husband were gifted a truck by your father. Your husband is awful. He goes to jail. He also signs the title of your truck over to his mum, and then they sent those guys to come pick it up. And then you spend the next 6 months trying to get it back off his mum. Like, by the sounds of it, you're not the a-hole, OP. I don't really know how you would be the a-hole. You cannot stay with your husband though. Yeah, the in-laws are bad, but the husband is definitely worse. But yeah, they're for sure the ones in the wrong here, OP. Not the a-hole. You need to get away from that whole family. If you haven't learnt your lesson by now, don't complain about him and his family. Leave him and her in the dust. Post number 4 says, am I the a-hole for not telling my roommate about my large salary when I'm aware that he's been struggling to pay rent? I, 28 female, live in a 2-bedroom apartment and I've got 3 roommates. It's small and we do step on each other sometimes, but it does work for us. We were all in graduate programs when we met and we needed something cheap. For the last 6 years, we've split rent evenly, and and I've been fine with that. Even when they all got jobs and I was still a resident, I didn't once ask to adjust the rent. Now, to be honest, I'm a very quiet and non-confrontational person, and residency kept me on weird hours, so I didn't speak to them a lot anyway, and they didn't even realize that I finished my program when I did. I also live on the second floor of our apartment in a space of the attic storage that was meant to be an office, so I do keep to myself and I go about my business. Once I became a licensed emergency physician, I was able to find a job in our city relatively fast, and I started working about 4 months out of residency. I'd already worked as an EMT for years around the hospital, even in college when I was getting clinical hours for med school, so I knew the ED well and it wasn't hard for me to get a job there. I still had loans from med school to pay off, so I saw no problem with hanging around and paying my same share of rent, utilities and groceries that I'd paid for 6 years until I built up savings, even though I was making more than my other 3 roommates combined. I'm not in a relationship, I don't want kids now, and I like my little living arrangement while I got some savings behind me. I was fine until crap hit the fan yesterday, and by some insane stroke of bad luck, one of my roommates, A, 27 male, was in a car crash and was transported to the hospital by ambulance, all when I was on shift. He was fine, just a bit of whiplash and a cut from broken glass, but while he was in the ED, he saw me and realized that I wasn't a resident anymore. Even though he couldn't pin down my exact salary, a quick Google search could tell him that in our city I was making at least double what my roommates were. He was pissed off and he told my other 2 roommates while I was still at work, so that when I came home they were all waiting for me. He confronted me and asked me what I was making, and I told them. They all lost their minds at me because I knew that A had been struggling to make his share of rent every month, whereas I was hoarding my money. I listened to what they had to say, but I said that I still had loans to pay off and I was going to bed. I was tired after a long shift, and I'm aware that I was probably really blunt and cold, because when I'm getting yelled at, part of my job description is just to take it with a calm face. This morning they've all been giving me the cold shoulder, and though they haven't talked about it yet, I can feel it coming. I don't know how to address this because I really liked our living arrangement, and I don't want to change it, but I can't help feeling like I'm the a-hole for not helping A out more. So am I? No, you're not the a-hole, OP. The audacity of them to give you the cold shoulder. Yeah, the top comment, not the a-hole. Your income has nothing to do with your split of the house. You should be splitting it evenly between the roommates. They've got no right to your income in any way. If one of them is struggling, that's on them. They're roommates, not partners. If they throw a big stink, look for your own place. Yeah, and also this comment, do they know how big a med student's loan is? Your money is none of their business. Yeah, that's so annoying. Oh, you're hoarding money? What, you mean saving money? They suck, OP, and they're entitled. Get out of there. Yeah, like this comment says, not the a-hole, you're roommates. You're not a married couple. They should be happy that you always pay your part of the rent instead of worrying about it too. Maybe it's time to look for some new roommates. Yeah, you need to move out. Like, guaranteed if the roles were reversed, they would do the exact same. Like, imagine thinking that you were entitled to your roommate's money. You're not greedy, OP, because you want to keep the money that you worked hard for. And also, yeah, you've got a med school loan. That's probably heaps of money that you owe. That's so ridiculous of your roommates. Oh, how dare you not give us some of your income? Why do they feel entitled to it? Yeah, like this comment says, not the a-hole. There's nothing in a tenant agreement that says you have to update them when you get a new job. You were pulling your own weight and you did nothing wrong. It's pretty crappy and entitled for them to say that you're hoarding money when it's your money. Yeah, what do you mean? Your roommates are acting like bratty kids. The next one says, am I the a-hole for uninviting my best friend from my wedding? My best friend, 25 male, we'll call him James, and I knew each other since high school, but only became friends afterwards. I, 25 female, got a boyfriend, 26 male, we'll call Alex, last year. James started making weird remarks such as, don't you think Alex looks like me? When they look nothing alike. The only similarities they have are race and glasses. Alex and I got engaged a couple of months ago, and James was butthurt that he wasn't part of it. He asked me, what's wrong with you? And put his fingers to his head. He's been very passive aggressive towards my now fiance Alex. We both have talked to James about his actions and trying to address them, but all he would say is, I don't have a problem with Alex, in a very annoyed and exasperated tone. They sound annoying. When my fiance reached out to be friends with him, each time James arrived late or cancelled at the last minute. When Alex and I were planning on moving in together, James was originally supposed to move in with us to help mitigate the cost of rent. Alex and I both have time constraints about when our leases were up, and instead of helping, James would flake whenever we made appointments to see apartments, or would schedule it deliberately during times that Alex had to work. At that point, James didn't have a job yet, since he'd just moved back to town. OP, why are you friends with him? There's enough red flags here. After we signed a rental lease without him, he would make passive-aggressive comments about us moving in without him, such as, oh, I guess you just want it to be the two of you. Another time that he was upset was when Alex and I went on a date together, claiming that he had a panic attack because he wasn't invited. I had to explain that I wasn't going to invite him on my dates, and that he's not part of my romantic relationship. Now he's complaining that we didn't give him sympathy over something that he could have removed himself from, and shouldn't have been a part of to begin with. I offered my help and he didn't want it, saying that all he wanted was us to give his sympathy, even if it's false sympathy, which which I don't support. You either want my help or you don't, but you're not going to demand my attention. Why are you even friends? He sounds so exhausting. Alex and I are getting married next year, and James will not be invited for the disrespect that he's directed to Alex and for trying to insert himself into my relationship. In other conversations I've had with him recently, James is still under the impression that because of our history as friends, that he's still invited to the wedding. Am I the yay-hole? So by the sounds of it, you haven't told James that he's not invited, but you're going to, I'm assuming. OP, cut James off. Why are you friends? He obviously wants to be with you, OP. He sounds bloody exhausting and immature, being passive-aggressive towards your fiance, not showing up if your fiance is going to be there, and all around being rude to the both of you, OP. You've even said here that he tries to be a part of your romantic relationship and wants to be invited on dates and stuff. And then that bit about how he was complaining because you don't give him sympathy. Like, obviously this guy's jealous and wants to be with you, OP, and also has an issue with your fiance. Like, yeah, good, you're putting your foot down, but you would be the a-hole if you keep allowing this to happen. The top comment says, not the a-hole. Respectfully, from the context that you've given, James sounds potentially dangerous. I don't know him, and I'm only seeing the context that you've provided, but he sounds weird. Why is he comparing himself to your fiance? Because he wants to be with OP. Why is he upset that he wasn't involved in the engagement? Do any other friends you know expect to be involved in other people's engagements? Why is he making comments about you three living together? Bluntly, why is it any of his business if two people in a monogamous relationship live together? And why does he even want to be involved? Because he doesn't want to be just a friend. He quite clearly has a problem with Alex, OP. With all due respect, do you think that problem is envy? He sounds like he's had a thing for you this whole time and is behaving like a creep now that you've got a man. I'd be suspicious of being alone around him at all, let alone having him at the wedding. Yeah, cut contact with him, OP. You're not in the wrong, OP, and you're doing the right thing by not inviting him to your wedding. But if you keep allowing this behavior from James, that is not fair on your fiance. There's enough red flags here, OP. Yeah, like that comment said, I'd be suspicious of being alone around him at all. Yeah, like if you do continue to be besties with him, you'd be ignoring all of the red flags here. This comment says, not the a-hole. Also, girl, this best friend totally has a thing for you. I can't think of any other reason why he'd be acting like this during your relationship. Why else would he remark, don't you think Alex looks like me? At this point, you need to cut the cord and do it definitively, because I'm willing to bet that if you don't get ahead of this, he's gonna do something dramatic when he realizes that he's not invited. You've got to let him know where he stands in regards to your two friendship and make it clear to him that his disrespect towards you and Alex during this entire relationship isn't and has never been okay, and that behavior is why he's not being invited to the wedding. Don't forget to make it clear to any mutual friends too, because I'd bet that he'd also spin some yarn to them as well. It might not prevent him making a scene at the wedding itself, but it is a start to severing this tie and setting a firm boundary. Yeah, because by the sounds of it, OP hasn't clearly said you're not invited to the wedding, because it says there James is still under the impression that because of our history as friends that he's still invited to the wedding. OP, you need to say you are not invited and it's because of this behavior. Don't leave it up for debate. Make it obvious and tell him. Yeah, this one is kind of frustrating. I feel sorry for your fiance. The next one says, am I the a-hole for refusing to spend my savings to bail out my sibling from debt? My sibling recently approached me asking for help with their financial situation. Apparently they've racked up a ton of debt over the past few years because of emergency purchases and lifestyle choices. They've been struggling to manage it, and now it's at a breaking point where creditors are contacting them non-stop. I've been careful with my money, working hard and saving for years to build up a bit of a safety net for myself. I'm not rolling in cash, but I've got enough set aside to feel secure. When my sibling asked me to help, they weren't looking for a small loan. They wanted me to clear out nearly all of my savings to cover their debts. They argued that families should help each other and implied that I was selfish because I didn't want to help them get out of this mess. I tried suggesting other options like talking to a financial advisor or consolidating their debt, but they brushed it off, saying that they'd take too long and that I was their only real option. They even got my parents involved, who are now pressuring me, saying that family is more important than money and that I should do this because I'm the responsible one. Are your parents helping? The audacity. I feel for my sibling and I understand they're in a tough spot, but it doesn't feel fair to me to sacrifice everything that I've worked for, especially when I had nothing to do with their financial choices. But now I'm being called heartless and cold by my family, and I am starting to wonder if I'm being selfish for holding on to my savings. Am I the a-hole for refusing to use my savings to bail out my sibling? No, not even a little bit. And don't think this is going to be the only time this is going to happen. If you pay off all of their debt this time, OP, and your sibling doesn't learn from this, it's going to happen again and again and again. Yeah, like this comment says, not the a-hole, you want to be bailing them out? Then you'll be enabling them. They'll be back in debt in no time and they'll come to you again. Yeah, they definitely will. And why aren't your parents helping? Why are they adding pressure? Oh, you should do it because you're the responsible one. You're the parents. Why don't you help out? No, you're not the a-hole, OP. And that's enough for today. That was a beautiful but also terrifying episode, and and I hope you guys had a good time today. I've got a really cute wholesome meme to show you before you go. My husband said that he was going to make a bed frame. I thought it was for our new mattress. It's for the cat. So cute. And also such a beautiful little kitty cat. And also your husband did such a good job. It looks so well made. And miniature furniture for cats is so cute. Like a bed that looks like a full-size bed. So adorable. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful time today. And if you did, make sure you let me know down below in the comment section, and also like and subscribe. And the comment of the day goes to user GJ1Me4MF5C. G'day to Vincey's cats from my cats here in Vegas. I put my giant orange cat in a pumpkin costume for Halloween. Wow, that's so cute. I know you can't put photos in the comment section, but I wish you could. I want to see that so bad. That's so adorable, and thank you for the comment. And say hello to your cats too from my cats, all the way in Las Vegas. That's so cool. Okay, I'm out of here. Thank you for all the support, everybody. I'll see you in tomorrow's terrifying but also fun episode. So make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!